Let's begin today with a moment of meditation or silent prayer in memory of our friend, okay? The family requested the following piece by Richard's favorite author, Mark Twain. At the funeral, do not criticize the person in whose honor the entertainment is given. Make no remarks about his equipment. If the handles of the encasement are plated, it is best to not observe it. If the odor of the flowers is too oppressive for your comfort, remember that they were not brought there for you, and that the person for whom they were brought suffers no inconvenience from their presence. Listen with an intense expression of attention, as you can command, to the official statement of the character and history of the person in whose honor the entertainment is given. And if these statistics should fail to tally with the facts in places, do not nudge your neighbor or press your foot upon his toes or manifest by any other sign your awareness that taffy is being distributed. If the official hopes expressed concerning the person in whose honor the entertainment is given are known to be oversized, let it pass. Do not interrupt. At the moving passages, be moved, but only in accordance to the degree of your honor the entertainment is given. Where a blood relation sobs, an intimate friend should choke up. A distant acquaintance should sigh. A stranger should merely umble sympathetically with his handkerchief. Where the occasion is military, the emotion should be graded according to military rank, the highest officer present taking precedence in emotional violence, and the rest modifying their feelings according to their position in the service. Do not bring your dog. Howdy, friends. My name is D.A. Calloway, and I'm here to talk about our dear friend, Richard Vahldick. Richard Vahldick. If you knew Richard, just the sound of his name makes you smile. He was a wonder, charismatic, easily likable. He knew how to be a friend. Richard was born in the spring of 1951 and was raised on a little family farm northwest of Springfield, Missouri. Richard's father, Roy Vahldick Sr., whom everybody called Big Roy, was a phlebotomist and lab technician at the prison hospital known as the Federal Medical Center in Springfield. Richard's mother, Vonda, was a math teacher at the college now known as Missouri State University. I remember them well as they took me into their home many times to share a meal or some family fun. Richard's older siblings, Mary Beth, Carl, and Roy Jr., were grown and independent by that time. Still, his siblings had a profound influence on his life, especially Carl. So, young Richard was somewhat of an only child, and I was his tag-along friend. The school system in our neighborhood was the Willard School District. They had 3 different elementary schools scattered about the district, and all those children came together in the 7th grade. That's where I met Richard. It was in science class one day when the teacher announced that brown eggs were inferior to white eggs in the same way that brown-skinned people were inferior to white people. Richard immediately spoke up to refute the teacher's statement. Since we grew up in the same area, I'm pretty sure Richard did not know many brown-skinned people. But being raised on a farm, he did know about eggs. I knew right there, I like Richard. I made it a point to try to become his friend, a decision I've never regretted. Now you might wonder how a 7th grade boy could be so brazen as to confront his teacher. But Richard was the son of Vonda and Big Roy, neither of whom were inclined to tolerate any sort of foolishness. I'm sure Richard felt that it was his duty to set the record straight that day. A Vahldick can always be counted on to speak their mind. We shared several classes after that, including chorus and band. Many after-school hours we spent listening to Richard's mother's record collection. We'd hear Jelly Roll Morton, the original Dixieland Jazz Band, Fats Waller, classical music, and the pipe organ music of E. Power Biggs. The Vahldick family also owned a player piano and several piano rolls. All of these things influenced our musical taste and our desire to play music, and we both went on to careers in music. And several of those years we played in the same band. In fact, Richard helped me get my first job at Silver Dollar City. During our college years, Richard began playing 5-string banjo in the summer months at Dog Patch USA, a theme park near Harrison, Arkansas. Later, he became the piano player at the Silver Dollar Saloon Show at Silver Dollar City. From there, Richard and a few friends started a Dixieland Jazz Band at Silver Dollar City. The band went through a few name and personnel changes, and I eventually served as trumpet player in that band. That band was the River Rats. We absolutely had an enormous time playing our original and often ridiculous arrangements and doing whatever was necessary to keep the audience from walking off. It was a golden dozen years for the band. Robert Loffer on tuba, Dennis Wolf on woodwinds, Smiling Marty Babasaw on banjo, me on trumpet, Richard Vahldick playing piano and trombone. Ricky Bat Inman was our original drummer, and Greg Becker played drums after Ricky moved on. Over the years, Richard also performed at the Shepherd of the Hills pageant, Shad Heller's Toby Show, the Wilkinson Brothers Music Show, the Memory Maker Show, and several others. Later, as assistant to events producer Rex Burdett, Richard took care of logistics like scheduling, travel arrangements, per diem, lodging, and other needs as Rex was importing first-rate entertainers from around the world for shows at Silver Dollar City and Dollywood. That's where Richard's proclivity for arithmetic and organization really paid off. Now I want to go back to the college days and tell you about our wealth of information, musical knowledge available at our school, then SMS, now MSU. We had outstanding instructors and an atmosphere of fun. The downstairs practice rooms of Ellis Hall were a haven of innovation and experimentation. Music was essential to life and a source of joy and happiness. Richard was in the college ROTC band where he served as drum major. If you don't know what that is, the drum major wears a tall ornate hat, carries a long baton, has a police whistle between his teeth, and he leads the band in parades or onto the football field. I used to tease Richard that he was appointed drum major because nobody wanted to hear him play the trombone. In reality, it was his personality and confidence that put him in a position of leadership. Now I want to take you way back to our high school days. Our graduating class had 2 Eagle Scouts, and Richard was one of them. As many of you know, Richard loved cars. He has owned some beautiful automobiles, but the first one he drove was pretty humble. One of the attractions in our old neighborhood was the half-mile dirt stock car track at the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds in Springfield. Many Saturday nights in the summertime, we could be found in the stands when the cars roared out of the last turn and down the straightaway. A few of those fairgrounds race car drivers from that era went on to fame during the early NASCAR years. Even though our faces and clothing became encrusted with dirt, it was a very exciting evening of entertainment. As a teen, Richard was allowed to drive his family's sedan, which was a mid-1960s Rambler American with a 3-speed manual transmission and a 6-cylinder engine. That car was the essential combination of frugality and reliability, 2 strong traits of the Vahldick family. When the race was over and we were leaving the fairgrounds, Richard would mash the little Rambler's gas pedal to the floor, dump the clutch, and spray parking lot gravel every which way as we would fishtail our way out to the main road. That car, which Richard called the Kelvinator, was severely underpowered on the highway. When he pressed down on the accelerator, it didn't speed up much, it just changed noises. Like most kids, we were always looking for fun. We were hungry for something to do. Now, I was raised a Baptist, and Richard was raised in the Christian church. But as teenagers, we liked to visit St. Joseph's Catholic Church because Father Reginald let us sing in his choir. And Father Reginald played the pipe organ, something that Richard really enjoyed. We were fortunate to have a great youth with good parents and good neighbors. As you know, everybody gets to be young once, and if we're lucky, we also get to be adults. Looking back on our lifetime, what could be more successful than a life of fun, joy, music, love, family, friendship, and an unwavering commitment to everyone in one's circle of influence? Richard was a true and honest friend. I ask you, which would you rather have, a friend who told you what they really thought, or one who told you what they thought you wanted to hear? And if there was ever a phone a friend you wanted on your side, it was him. He seemed to know the answer to everything, and he helped lead countless trivia teams to first place finishes. When I think about my relationship with Richard, I see two old men who spent a lifetime loving each other, and each trying our best to brighten our little corner of the world. The fact that you are here means that you feel a similar connection to Richard. You have your own Richard stories, and I hope you take the opportunity of this gathering today to share those stories with each other. No doubt, the most important and significant event in Richard's life was when he met his beloved Bambi. Richard had plenty of talent and a gift for entertaining. Bambi, a natural beauty, had the brains and the work ethic to make the partnership successful. She can engage about anybody in conversation and is well known for her charitable and neighborly acts in the community. In fact, Bambi used her connections to get my wife Mary hired onto a growing company where she enjoyed a remarkable 30-year career. Bambi, as a mother, made sure that her two boys, Zachary and Tyler, grew up in the company of quality people, that they were involved in healthful pursuits, and participated in extracurricular activities that would help them become successful. Obviously, her efforts paid off. The boys are both stalwart and productive citizens, and Vahldick to the core. Richard found great joy in their three grandchildren, Sloan, Grant, and York. And Richard was an avid traveler and visited numerous countries and every state in the U.S. except North Dakota. For some reason, that state always managed to elude him. Richard loved to make chocolate chip cookies. He made them several times a year, and especially loved giving them out at Christmas time to his coworkers. So enjoy a cookie and think of Richard. I know Bambi and Zachary, his wife Molly, Tyler, his wife Kylie, and the grandchildren mourn the loss of the family patriarch. And I know they all appreciate you being here. Thank you for your kind attention. Richard's family will be up front to greet everyone. To help with the flow, please come forward through the center aisle to say hello, then exit via the side door or the exit aisle. If you'd like to continue visiting, please circle back around to the front entrance where everyone is welcome together and spend more time together. Thank you.